Campus with John Harden. Weekdays from 11 to 1. It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here is your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome in on a busy, terrific Tuesday. I don't know if you folks are aware of this, but today is the 18th. In 8 days, the newest Memphis Sports Hall of Fame class will be inducted. It is a blockbuster of a class headlined by John Calipari and Larry Keenan. Stubby Clapp's in there. There's a lot of good people. J.J. Greer, who is the one that puts all of this together for the Memphis Sports Council, he will join us here in about 6 minutes. We'll go over the class. Rodney Newsom out again. J-Ham is our man. He's become the marathon man.
How about you? How you doing today, Dave?
I'm doing well. If I told you, name for me, who's the top freshman high school football player in the state of Tennessee, would you have any clue?
I wouldn't have any clue on this one.
You'll know the name.
I can believe I know the name, though.
It's a famous name.
Would it happen to be a Manning?
It would be a Manning. It would be Marshall Manning, son of Peyton Manning, who, and I don't understand how this is happening, because last I looked, Peyton lives in Denver, does he not?
Last I understood, yes.
Yes. Marshall is going to Baylor High School.
Yeah, Chattanooga Baylor is now a boarding school, from my understanding.
You know what's weird, though? I was looking at this. He's not listed as like a boarding resident. So he must be staying with some friends of the family that live in Chattanooga. Yeah. Maybe staying with Brad Martin. Hey. Who knows? He's considered the number one high school freshman in the state of Tennessee. Here's the thing about him. You know he's going to get bigger because his dad's big and his mom's not small. But he's only 5'11". Now he's 14 years old. He's going to grow. Yeah. He's 5'11", 170. The rest of the of our area has 3 players in the top 10. They are all from the same high school, which is going to be a heck of a team in a few years. Would you take a guess as to which school has the number 2 player, 9 player, number 10 freshman, all freshmen, top 10 in the state of Tennessee?
It wouldn't happen to be a Memphis school, would it?
No. It is a public school, though.
Oh. I'm going to guess and say it's one of these schools in the Nashville area.
No. This is in our area. We have one school that actually has 3 top 10 freshmen, 2, 9, and 10.
Well, you got me on this one. I'm ready.
It's Collierville.
I did hear John Varlas mention that they were supposed to be very studied.
They're going to be amazing in a couple of years. So the number 2 player as a freshman in the state of Tennessee, according to the Nashville Tennessean, by the way, which speaks volumes that they're actually giving Memphis some credit, because usually if it's all middle and east Tennessee, they never give West Tennessee or Memphis any credit. They have 3. I was shocked. Lawson Ford is a 6'6", 210 tight end defensive lineman, already has offers as a freshman from Ole Miss and LSU.
Physically, he's a prototype. I like it.
So he's good. He's 2. Number 9 is Dominic Racconi. If that doesn't sound familiar, it's got to be the coach's son, Joe Racconi.
Absolutely.
Although Joe was, he was a lineman guy. He was not a skill player. But Dominic Racconi is a 6'1", 170 freshman quarterback who's also, by the way, a great baseball player. And then, and this blows me away, his name is Sutton Smith. Not a running back. A freshman. He's the 10th best freshman in the state of Tennessee, also at Collierville, 6'5", 265. He plays offensive line and defensive line, and obviously 6'5", 265 at 14. He's going to weigh 300 before
He'll weigh 300 by the time he's a junior.
Yeah. The AP poll is out. So the Big Ten got 3 of the top 6 and 8 total. The SEC got 9. 17 of the top 25 from those 2 conferences. Throw in Notre Dame, that's 20. 0 group of 6, and the rest of the 5 go to the ACC and the Big 12. So not one group of 6. Right. The way it worked out in that regard, the University of Memphis ended up with 2 votes. So that would be good for 45. They are 7th from the G6. 7th. Remember, they were 3rd in the coaches poll.
Right.
Boise got 43. So they were 2, and that would be good for 28. UNLV got 4. Actually, Navy got 10. That would be good for 31. They were ranked ahead of UNLV. You had 3 in the AAC because Tulane got 1. So Navy got 10, Memphis got 2, Tulane got 1. I found that pretty interesting. And one baseball story that I got to talk about because it's Chicago related. Last night, the Cubs, White Sox lead their division even with a loss last night by 4.5. And the Cubs, of course, are solid to be the top wild card unless they can catch the Brewers, which seems impossible because the Brewers don't lose. And the Cubs, who are 20 games over 500, are 4.5 now behind Milwaukee. But last night, the Cubs and the White Sox, which in concept, I really do like interleague play, but I hate it because I like both teams. They're my 2 favorite teams. And they both need to win. Now, I must confess, when the Cubs play the White Sox, I'm for the Cubs. Unless, of course, maybe the Cubs were out of it and the White Sox could win their division and with a win over that might be different. But as it stands now, I am solid Cubs. And last night, a guy who needs to get more and more credit, Pete Crow Armstrong, PCA. He did something last night we haven't seen in 16 years. Last time it happened, 2010, PCA leads off with a home run. PCA in the bottom of the 10th. Walk-off home run. 2 home runs. That gets him, by the way, to 30 home runs, 30 steals, 2 years in a row. And there is discussion now because Shohei Ohtani is not playing as a pitcher, although he hit 2 home runs last night. But it looks like National League MVP is coming down to Ohtani or PCA, and it's going to be close. If Ohtani goes back to pitch, and let's say he wins a couple of games and his ERA is below 2 or something, right, and he keeps up hitting home runs like he is now, then it might be tough for PCA. But if he doesn't, and the Cubs come back and catch the Brewers because of PCA, they lost Swansby, their shortstop, till the postseason.
Yeah.
Now. Got a 2nd-degree strained oblique. All from swinging. How does that happen? Is that from not warming up correctly or stretching or something? How does that happen?
I really don't know.
I don't know either. But at least it is worth keeping an eye on the MVP race between Ohtani and PCA. In the meantime, we got a lot of all-stars, a lot of great. That's what you got to be, the best of the era to be a Hall of Famer, correct? And
that's correct.
We got an unbelievable class. As I sit here in the Family Leisure Studios, I remind you, dog days of summer are now really here. I mean, it's still going to be crazy hot with heat indexes over 100 for the next week. That's why swimming pools, they're like chicken soup. They heal you from heat. You get in there, you feel better, and you can get them under $2,000 right now for an above-ground pool at Family Leisure. You can get patio furniture 50% off while the dog days of summer continue. And if this is a great little promotion. You got a pet, you can receive a dog bandana and tennis ball with the purchase if you buy something. Send a picture of your pet with the newly purchased Family Leisure product. You get a $50 gift card. That's why they call it the Dog's Days of Summer. Little play on words here, but there's always savings when you go to I-40 and Wooden Road and you go to Family Leisure. We go downtown, and J.J. Greer from the Memphis Sports Council. What a class you have got for this. What is this, the 6th class that we have? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, let's see here. We had 2019 Wolo, and then we skipped a couple years because of that thing called COVID.
But we did a double class. We did a double class that year, remember?
We essentially had a triple class in 2022 because we made up for 2020, 2021, and then 2022. So it was essentially 3 classes in one.
All right, so we'll call that 3 classes. So that's 4, yeah. And then
23, 24, 25, and then the class of 2026 this year.
So that'll be our 8th class. Unbelievable. And I don't know that we've ever had a more star-studded class. Let's start with the headliner. Although there's still people who have not forgiven, but they should. And that is John Calipari, now the Arkansas coach. He will be the headliner on September the 16th. What kind of ticket sales has he brought about?
Oh, there's tons of excitement for Coach John Calipari, of course, now at the University of Arkansas, but came to Memphis, of course, took us to the national championship, coached a few guys, Derrick Rose, Chris Douglas-Roberts, Joey Dorsey. I mean, we remember those days. I remember those days like it was yesterday, right? That magical run that the Tigers had.
I hope those guys are coming back. I would love to see Dorsey, who's, I think, an NBA coach, an assistant somewhere. I'd love to see CDR, who comes into town somewhat frequently. Those guys, Antonio Anderson, all those guys, Robert Dozier, they should come back.
Sean Taggart, I believe he's at Collierville High School coaching.
Well, I don't think he's there anymore, but he was.
He's not there anymore?
I don't believe so.
He's not there. Well, either way, even when
he should come.
Even when Coach Cal came back for the University of Arkansas versus University of Memphis game, and they had the press conference with St. Jude, and I mean there was probably 30 or 40 of his former players there to support Coach Cal and the St. Jude Cal versus Penny St. Jude hoops game. So no, we're expecting a big crowd for Coach Cal, but you'll never believe who's brought the biggest crowd out so far. We're seeing massive ticket sales for Coach Roosevelt Hancock, former Hamilton High School football coach. Oh, yeah. Wildcat Nation. He's put the word out to Wildcat Nation. They probably have purchased 200 tickets so far. So we're looking forward to welcoming Wildcat Nation as well.
I will tell you.
The Memphis Sports Hall of Fame.
Roosevelt Hancock and those battles with Melrose back in those days, the atmosphere at a Melrose Hamilton game was unbelievable. And Roosevelt Hancock was... He was something to behold. I'm so glad. The other high school guy coming in is Bobby Alston from MUS, who was at that school first as an assistant to Jake Rudolph, and then as the head coach. He must have been there 40, close to 50 years, I'll bet.
You're very close. 47-year career.
Wow.
Wolo as a football and track and field coach at Memphis University School at MUS. Started in 1977 and then spent 20 years as an assistant coach under Jake Rudolph, who's also in the Memphis Sports Hall of Fame.
Right.
And then Coach Bobby Alston became the head coach in 1998 for 26 seasons, won 4 state championships, 04, 05, 08, and 09, and also finished runner-up 4 times and then retired in 2023. So we've got two of the best prep football coaches in not just Memphis and Shelby County history, but of course in Tennessee sports history as well.
I agree.
So
whoever coached in the state, some of the top 2 who ever coached in the state of Tennessee. Speaking of Cal and Memphis basketball, how about the legend from the very first Memphis team that went to a Final Four, and that would be Larry Keenan with Larry Finch and Ronnie Robinson and Bill Laurie. That team from 73, that Larry Keenan, I know, is going to bring some people, and I heard he was just over the moon when he got the word he got in.
Oh, he was so excited. He and his wife, they've just been a joy to collaborate with. We're going to be flying them in from San Antonio. I think they've got some other family members coming in town as well. They're buying hotel rooms left and right to celebrate Larry Keenan. Really, Larry Keenan was the Derrick Rose before Derrick Rose, right? One and done.
Yeah.
At Memphis, averaged 20 points and 16.7 rebounds in that 1972-73 season. Unfortunately, the Tigers suffered the loss to UCLA in the championship game.
Well, you know what?
Bill Walton.
Well, Bill Walton went crazy because they fouled out Larry Keenan. They hadn't fouled out Larry Keenan, I don't know, because the game was pretty close until then. But Walton had one of the greatest performances in the history of the game. He was 21 of 22 because all he did was get the ball and drop it in. He even dunk, he just put it above the rim and dropped it.
Yeah. Just placed it right in there.
Yeah, he was fantastic. You've got one of the more colorful baseball icons of this city in Stubby Clapp. It's been too long. He should have been in earlier. Probably Stubby Clapp gets into the class of 26.
I remember going out as a kid when I was in Park first opened up and seeing Stubby Clapp do his backflips on the way out to the field, and of course, you know, maybe short in stature as his name might say, but massive in heart and ability, right? Not just as a player, but as a coach as well. Managed back-to-back PCL, Pacific Coast League Championships, 2017, 2018, and was named PCL Manager of the Year in 2017, 2018, and Minor League Manager of the Year by Baseball America in 2018. So just a huge personality, right, and quite capable baseball player and manager. Now he's, of course, first base coach for the St. Louis Cardinals, and just continues to bring players up from the Memphis Redbirds and coach them up. Of course, we saw those 3 home runs by Joshua Baez for the Cardinals. I guess there wasn't a lot of coaching for Stubby there on those.
Wow. I mean, that's
so
the greatest major league debut I've ever seen. 3 home runs in his first 3 at bats. Unbelievable. Yeah. And I know I got a text from your dad, Jarvo, who will be on with us on Thursday. Apparently, he was there when Baez hit 3 home runs for the Redbirds.
Oh, wow. 3. Well, I think he hit 4, Dave, didn't he, earlier this year for the Redbirds in one game?
4 in one game? You know what? I'll ask your dad about that on Thursday.
I know he was the minor league home run leader when he got called up.
Well, he had over 30. I know that. He had over 30 home runs. Yeah. Tiger football gets in with a couple of guys. Let's start with Gotti, Stephen Gostkowski, who I forget how many Super Bowl rings he got with New England.
Stephen Gostkowski, one of NFL and college football's all-time leader, and of course with field goals with New England Patriots and University of Memphis. How many did he win? Stephen Gostkowski. We won 3 Super Bowls, Dave.
3.
With the New England Patriots. Played in 6 and won 3. So that's already a hell of a career. And was All-American at University of Memphis. Was a former baseball player as well at Memphis.
He came as a
great overall athlete.
He's a great athlete. I hear he's a pretty good golfer now too. And then one of the great physical players of all time for the Tigers, Tim Harris.
Yeah, Birmingham native, moved to Memphis before his senior year of high school at Catholic High. 6'7", 225 pounds, Wolo. Defensive end linebacker. Imagine that tackling you. Ranks as one of University of Memphis's greatest defensive players. Was an All-American 1983, 84, in the All-Metro Conference 3 times. Then went on to the Green Bay Packers, and he led them in sacks each of his 5 seasons. Was an All-Pro NFL player in 1988 and 89, Pro Bowl 1989, and then went on to play for the 49ers and Philadelphia.
What a career.
A 10-year career, 82 sacks, over 500 tackles. Was introduced into the Packers Hall of Fame in 2022, of course, M Club Hall of Fame in 2010, and then Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame in 2023. So it's amazing it even took him this long to get in the Hall of Fame. But
he's unbelievable.
It's been such a competitive and such great athletes and coaches and contributors that have made it into the Hall of Fame. 91 after this class, Wolo, we will have inducted 91.
Wow.
Honorees into the Memphis Sports Hall of Fame.
That is outstanding. 2 more I got to get to. Chelsea Bramlett. When you look at the numbers there, it's amazing it took so long for Chelsea to get in.
All-American at Mississippi State and All SEC all 4 seasons. Wolo as a catcher out of FACS, First Assembly Christian School.
Yep.
Batting average, holds school season records, batting average at .536, which is the 10th highest in NCAA history. Was named to U.S. national team in 2009, captured gold medals in 2009, 2010 at the World Cup of Softball, and won the 2010 World Softball Confederation Championship. She was named an SEC legend in 2016. Well,
she was absolutely.
Now she coaches. Yep. Now she coaches softball at Northwest Mississippi Junior College, and she was inducted into the Mississippi State M Club Hall of Fame in 2016. So just an absolute, just dominant softball career as a catcher, Chelsea Bramlett.
And then last but certainly not least, Phil Chamberlain, a special guy who I know got in the M Club Hall of Fame. He's a guy that has been running tennis forever, part of the tennis tournament at the Racket Club for years and years, the right-hand man to Tommy Buford, then was the coach at MUS and did regional stuff within the Tennessee Tennis Association for years. Phil Chamberlain, quite the gentleman.
Quite the gentleman indeed, native of Perth, Australia. Well, let me tell you, I can listen to Phil talk all day. That accent
Me too.
It's just so beautiful. But he was something else on the tennis court. Was the University of Memphis' #1 singles player from 1973 to 76. Helped bring the program into national attention. Metro Conference singles and doubles champion 1975 and 76. So he was a winner through and through. From a decade period of 1972 to 1982, he won 14 USTA singles titles and 37 USTA doubles championships. And then, as you mentioned, a longtime assistant director of the pro tournament at the Racket Club, and then became director himself from 2005 to 2008. Another M Club Hall of Fame inductee in 1988, and Tennessee Tennis Hall of Fame in 2001. So Phil Chamberlain, another one that is, like you said, pure gentleman and dominant tennis player.
This is truly a great class. Can't wait for it on September 16th. The people, and they just heard this class, people want to go. How do they get a hold of you, or what do they do to get tickets?
Well, they can go to memphistravel.com/MSHOF. That stands for Memphis Sports Hall of Fame. Go to our website and work your way through a beautiful website, and then click on the link that says purchase tickets. You can also just shoot me an email, jjgreer@memphistravel.com. And we'll get you signed up and registered. Tickets are $75, Wolo. You get a full meal. There's a nice cocktail hour. It starts at 5:30 at the Renaissance Convention Center on September 16th. And then the program itself will start at 6:30. We have beautiful honoree videos, and we'll serve you a delicious dinner. Drinks will be served as well, and it's just an all-around beautiful time.
It is a
September
classy,
16th.
Let me just say this. It is a classy event. You, Kevin Kane, Katie, you all do such a great job with this, and I cannot wait to be a part of it again. And this is one of the great classes. So congratulations. And folks, go to that website, buy your tickets. You're going to be in for a really great evening. All the inductees will speak. You'll love it. I promise. That is for sure. JJ, thank you much, and I'll see you in 8 days. I guess it's 8 days, right?
Yeah, well, the 16th, so it was about 28 days.
Oh, 28 days.
We'll be there.
Me. Yeah.
We'll be there, but we're planning. Thanks for having me on, Wolo. And like you said, go purchase those tickets. Come out and support Memphis and Shelby County's best.
You got it. That's JJ Greer from the Memphis Sports Council, and, of course, tourism and just the commission that absolutely does everything to try to promote the city of Memphis. We got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to Baton Rouge. We'll talk more SEC, the AP poll, and a whole lot more. That comes your way in a minute right here on Wolo and Friends.
Let Bryant Dacus and Brett Norsworthy take you home every afternoon. Sports Time on Sports 56. Weekdays from 3 to 6 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme cannabis that's worth the drive. Learn more at codesdispensary.com. That's codesdispensary.com. Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
It's sort of a philosophical question.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Bear with me. Central Barbecue's slogan is, smoke is our sauce.
I've seen the sign.
So then why does Central Barbecue offer so many sauces?
This is exactly why I try not to engage. While Central Barbecue is so delicious from being slow smoked for 24 hours, it doesn't need sauce.
That's my point.
Silence, Padawan. While Central Barbecue doesn't require sauce, it's nice to have the option. Better to have sauce and not need it.
Then need it and not have it. Got it.
Although you'll never need any sauce at Central Barbecue.
You bought an RV, and you got an automatic discount from Progressive by bundling it with your home or auto insurance. That's great, but a serious word of warning every RVer should heed. You don't need to talk about things like dry weight or dump stations. And you don't need one of those expensive water filter straws either, because the most extreme thing most RVers encounter is a campsite without hookups. So just enjoy yourself and Progressive's automatic discount when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
I love talking SEC football and polls and rules and college football playoffs and expansion and everything of that nature with our guy down in Baton Rouge. That would be our SEC historian, Ron Higgins. He's brought you in part by one of his favorite places in Memphis. That would be Miramichi, not in Millington. It's in Woodstock. It's 25 minutes from my driveway in East Memphis every time, I promise you. Downtown, if you're on Mud Island, you're 10 to 12 minutes away. It's that easy because it's not in Millington. It's in Woodstock. And when you get there, it's beautiful. I promise you the back nine is like walking through the woods with hills and a meandering stream and a waterfall, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. Front nine's pretty too, and here's the thing, it's competitive golf. It can go back 7,400 yards. They play NCAA tournaments and AJGA events there, and it's in unbelievable shape. And then if you want, like me, you can go up inside 6,000. You can go up, I believe, to 5,000 for the forward women's tees. It's competitive. It's beautiful. It's the complete golf experience with the best practice facilities of any public course I've seen. It's the total golf experience in Woodstock. It's Miramichi. All right, Ron Higgins, the AP poll came out between the Big Ten and the SEC. 17 of the top 25 from those two conferences. The Big Ten top heavy, 3 of the top 6, but the SEC had 9 in, 1 more than the 8 the Big Ten got in. Is this an accurate poll? Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm looking at this thing, and we have a Football Writers Association poll that I vote in, and basically, I'm looking at this thing. It's almost identical to how I voted it. Honestly, I mean, Ohio State at the top. I may have voted Georgia second ahead of Oregon, but I know Texas is probably third, maybe Notre Dame fourth. I mean, yeah, this is pretty accurate. I'd say so. Had LSU, I think they have LSU 11th. I think I have 13th. Yeah, this is pretty accurate. I mean, it kind of speaks to, honestly, that's the two power conferences, sort of Big Ten and the SEC. For a while it was the SEC, the Big Ten. Now it's flipped. Big Ten's got a little bit of advantage, and ACC basically is almost a non-factor in this thing.
Right.
But yeah, this speaks about.
Well, they got Miami in. The ACC did.
Yep. Yep.
And Louisville in.
Louisville in.
SMU is in. That's 3.
Yeah, SMU is in. Yeah,
do you think Ohio State and Oregon are 1-2 over Georgia or over Texas? Actually, Notre Dame sandwiches those two at number 4. Is Notre Dame number 4? No, they got an easy schedule. They're going to stay there.
I think I flipped it over Ohio State, Georgia, Texas, Oregon, Notre Dame. I think I had that. But the same top 5 teams in different order.
Oh, I see.
But yeah.
Yeah. But you had did you have Ohio State number 1?
Yeah.
Or Oregon. Okay.
Yeah.
And you had Oregon further down. You had Georgia 2.
I had Georgia at 2, Texas at 3, Oregon 4, Notre Dame 5.
Then they got Indiana, another Big Ten team, so they got 3 of the top 6. Where do you have Indiana? Same spot?
Same spot. I think Miami was in the same spot. I had the 3. I had the correct order of the next 5 SEC teams. I mean, I had A&M at Ole Miss had Oklahoma, Oklahoma LSU had Alabama. Yeah.
Well, they got 4. They got A&M, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, LSU.
Texas Tech and Alabama.
8, 9, 10, 11. Then Texas Tech, then Alabama. Texas Tech is 12. Alabama's 13.
Yeah.
If Alabama's got a quarterback, I think they're going to be better than 13.
Yeah, well, that's the question. Better quarterback. So we'll see. We know how much difference a quarterback makes. I know people say, that's obvious, but it's not so obvious if you have a new quarterback, he's not working out, and you have to go to somebody else. I mean, I don't know if there's any better example on that than Chambliss last year at Ole Miss.
Yeah, I'm going to get to quarterbacks in a minute, so hold your thought there. Tennessee is 20, which is used to be that the Vol fans expected to be in the top 10 or 12 for sure every year. 20, is that disappointing? And Missouri is the last one at 25. Will Missouri be in the final top 25?
I think Missouri being in the final top 25. I think Tennessee is rated where they're supposed to be rated. I mean, I think it's accurate. I mean, I don't see anything in this poll except if I looked at the there's some discrepancy. The only thing, in the coaches poll, Clemson's in the coaches poll. They're not in the AP poll.
Right. What are they? They're 23 in the coaches poll.
Yeah, and they're not in there. They're the top of other receiving votes in the complete ranking. So,
what is interesting is I heard your cohort Blake Topmeyer on Greg and Eli this morning, and he was saying that is absolutely a charity case. The coaches want to take care of Dabo for services, or like a lifetime achievement award. Certainly not this year's team. You buy that?
I don't know if I think they're right there. I mean, look, I know LSU's not taking them lightly. They got them over. LSU's been taking this team lightly. I mean, I understand when people are saying they don't know what their quarterback is. They knew what their quarterback was last year, and obviously I think he was vastly overrated last year. But we'll see. I mean, they have a chance in the opener to make a statement when they played LSU in the opener, so they have a chance to make a statement. But believe me, LSU is not looking at the rankings. I mean, Kiffin said, yesterday, he goes, rankings, he goes, rankings are just a guess. He goes, honest to God, I really can't tell what kind of team we're going to have right now until we get in games. So,
well, I'm guessing at 11 they're going to win their opener, and they're going to lose to Ole Miss because Ole Miss is ahead of them.
Well, that's what I would think. I mean, 3 teams ranked ahead of them on their schedule. I mean, there's the Texas, A&M, and Ole Miss are ahead of them, and they're on the LSU schedule.
Right.
So, we'll see. Again, you never know how the season goes, who gets hurt, who doesn't get hurt, what the depth is like. You never know.
Let's go to the quarterbacks. I found this an interesting ranking, and I think it's USA Today's, maybe Blake Topmeyer's. I can't remember where I found this ranking, but I found it interesting because the number 1 quarterback, and I'm not saying I disagree with this either, the number 1 quarterback is Ole Miss's Trinidad Chambliss. He wins out over Georgia's Gunnar Stockton. I buy that. And here's the one that I think most people might argue, and that would be Texas and Arch Manning. You buy that Chambliss is better than Stockton and Manning because that's how they rank it, 1, 2, 3. A&M's Marcel Reed, 4. Your quarterback at LSU, Sam Levitt's 5. John Mateer, who was not healthy last year, had a broken thumb, he's 6. This surprised me. The kid that transferred from South Florida is a pretty good quarterback. I don't know if he's the 7th best in the SEC, but he's there. I think the Arkansas quarterback, who's the incumbent, because I don't know if Hill will be in the mix or not, he was 15, and Jared Curtis, the Vanderbilt 5-star prospect that's replacing Pavia, he was rated the worst quarterback in the SEC at 16. How do you feel about these rankings? How accurate would you have Chambliss over everybody?
Yeah, I would have Chambliss, Manning, and Stockton in that order, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I do think Chambliss is the best quarterback. I think last year he showed that all year. He just clutch plays game after game after game, all the way through the playoffs. His last pass of the year. It's a lot of the money for a touchdown. There's coverage there, but he threw it accurately. So his refuse to lose style played well, and the other day when Kiffin was talking about, somebody asked Kiffin, about, LSU's quarterback, Levitt, who transferred from Arizona State. And in the spring he was there, but he couldn't participate. And they asked him about Levitt and said, you feel like that's a disadvantage going in the fall because he has to play catch up. And Kiffin said, no, not really. It's not a disadvantage at all. He goes, listen, my system is really quick to pick up. It's quarterback friendly. He goes, look at last year, the guy at my place, the other place, Ole Miss, talked about the Chambliss. He goes,
right.
He wasn't there.
He wasn't the starter until the quarterback got injured. And then a guy who played at Division II became a superstar. And I got to figure Lane Kiffin had some credit to that development.
Yeah, he said, you know what? We didn't have, we didn't get him till late summer. So we didn't have him till fall camp either. And he said, at least with Sam, we had him in the spring. He was able to, get mental reps and learn the system. So, he goes, honestly, that's one thing I sold Sam on when I chased him to Knoxville. Of course, Sam left LSU, went to Knoxville because I think LSU, the quarterback from Washington was interested in LSU. Levitt kind of got his nose out of his joint, went to go visit Falls. He goes, when he went to Knoxville and visited Levitt, he said, I told him, my system is really easy to pick up. He goes, you will pick it up. It's a quarterback-friendly system. And he goes, he told Levitt, he used Chambliss as an example. He goes, guy had last year, I didn't get him till late summer. He missed the entire spring, and look what happened to him, what kind of year he had. That kind of sold Levitt a little bit. So
that would sell me. I am curious, how close was Chambliss coming to LSU?
I don't think so. No. I really think, obviously you think it was like a given thing, but it wasn't a given thing. I don't think Kiffin looked at it like a given thing. And, Kiffin always has a contingency plan, and he, I think he was the one who, I think, urged Chambliss to maybe file a lawsuit over playing, have another year. And that's what Kiffin even think he's going to get him. Yeah. Didn't even think he's going to get him. So,
well, if you go to the right judge in the right state, you're going to get him.
Absolutely.
That's the way it's working now. All right.
You get the friendly rule, yeah.
Yeah. Last thing. Take Chambliss, Gunnar Stockton, and Arch Manning out of this. Who is the dark horse quarterback that could really make a run and become a factor and be talked about for the Heisman race? Is there anybody outside those three?
Gee whiz.
Reed, Mateer, your guy.
The Oregon quarterback.
You think Byron Brown? Really? He's got to stay healthy. He didn't. He's been banged up a bunch in his career, but if he stays healthy, man, he's got a great arm and he's mobile.
Yeah, but I thought Dante Moore was still there. I think Dante Moore is still
at Oklahoma.
No, Dante Moore is it?
He's at Oregon. Yeah, Dante Moore's at Oregon.
That's right. That's the guy who I think. I'm not that very dark.
Oh yeah. But I'm talking about in the SEC. I'm talking in the SEC.
So the SEC.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that's a really good one. But I think whoever quarterback's Tennessee, honestly.
Huh.
I think Heupel's that's one of Heupel's strengths as a really good quarterback.
I agree.
coach.
He's a quarterback whisperer.
And
I
I think whoever Tennessee starts.
Although you know what, he was at UCF. His whole offense is predicated on having a great quarterback, and there hasn't really been one that totally blossomed for him at Knoxville. So maybe this is the year, because I do believe in Josh Heupel. Ron Higgins, we're out of time as always. We appreciate you, and we'll talk to you next Tuesday.
All right, well, take care. We'll see you.
You got it. Thank you much. That's Ron Higgins. Mr. Jason Munz is quite the versatile guy. He did a great job with golf. There's a horse racing story that is now taking sort of front and center. Munzie's all over that when he's writing a story today on that. We'll talk about the FESJC, that, and the Little Tigers. That'll come your way in a minute right here on Wolo and Friends.
Be sure to download our Hub 901 app for instant access to Sports 56 and all the Flynn Broadcasting stations from anywhere. Go to the App Store and get the Hub 901 app today.
It is quite literally the dog days of summer at Family Leisure. Now, why is that? Glad you asked. Because Family Leisure wants to see your dog pictures, or whatever pet you have pictures of. Here's the details. With any Family Leisure purchase, you're going to get a dog bandana and a tennis ball. You take a picture of your pooch or any other pet with your newly purchased Family Leisure product, you get a $50 gift card. Come on, how many pictures do you already have of your pets on your phone? Family Leisure is giving you an excuse and a gift card to take one more. Now, what other dog days deals are there at Family Leisure? How about a swimming pool as low as $19.99? How about patio furniture that's up to 50% off? Get this, if you purchase any hot tub in stock, Family Leisure will give you a free theater seating set. Now you know why they're called the dog days of summer at Family Leisure. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family fun and your pets all come together.
Yes, it's that time again, and after all, you bought or sold a house 25 years ago, and everything should be the same. Wrong. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors, and just like artificial intelligence, AI, it's changing the landscape. Buying and selling a home today is worlds apart from when you last did it, whether it was 25 years ago, 40 years ago, or 2 years ago. Just like getting through a jungle, you need a trusted guide who has a highly successful strategic marketing program when you're selling, and who also knows the trails and pitfalls when you're buying. You may have heard of me due to the fact that I not only am the worst golfer in town, but people often say when you want the job done, call Shell Dunn. Whether you're thinking of selling or buying or merely want a conversation about what to do or not to do, you can always reach me, Shell Dunn Rosengarten, at 483-0546 or email me at memphisrelocate.com. That's memphisrelocate.com or call me at 483-0546.
Old Dominick Distillery's award-winning 8-year reserve bourbon is back in Memphis for its second year. Small batch, intentional, and proudly made in Memphis. This is bourbon for the love of bourbon. A slow sipper with a flavor journey that's been refined by time. Find Old Dominick's 8-year reserve bourbon at an area retailer. This pour is reserved for you. Old Dominick Distillery, 305 South Front Street, or online at olddominick.com.
Hi, I'm Ryan Saharovich, a proud partner with NST Injury Attorneys. For over 35 years, we've been fighting for Memphis families after serious accidents when insurance companies are trying to pay as little as possible. If you've been injured, the call is free, and you don't pay unless we win.
NST is the way to go. Call 683-70. They've got the fight.
NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000 or visit nstlaw.com.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Fame, yeah, that's what Jason Munz did a great job as a columnist this past weekend at the golf tournament for the Commercial Appeal. Joins us on a myriad of topics. Let's start with the FESJ future, because I know you worked on a story on that. In fact, you wrote a column, was picked up by Golf Digest. I read it on my iPhone. It was a hopeful story, and I got to tell you, between FedEx and between St. Jude, I've got numerous different people, different contacts from various different areas that are all feeling a little more hopeful and saying this championship tour thing, it may not be completely dead. Give me your gut feel on it.
Yeah, I mean, so I think here's where I'm at, because I started hearing some of that stuff over the weekend as well. That even though just, what was it, 2 weeks ago now? I mean, like, I don't even think it's been 2 weeks yet exactly, and since the PGA confirmed that Memphis was not going to be in consideration for a spot on the championship series. That if that nothing was decided, that they were still working toward a new, agreement to make it a Challenger Series event.
Right. But they were, when you broke this story along with Sports Business Journal, they were definitive. They were saying Memphis would not be a championship tour event. They were hoping to have some ties, which means a Challenger event in Memphis. That was the absolute fact, but things might have changed.
It does seem like, so in the course of my reporting that story out and writing subsequent stories, like, the people that I talked to around here were, understandably and reasonably disappointed, and even maybe a little bit upset, frustrated, whatever. But everybody that I talked to around here about this seemed to have accepted the PGA's statement and their position at face value. Well, over the course of this past week and this past weekend, it seems like the people who run in those circles are like they're indicating to me that maybe in fact there is a little bit of wiggle room, that the door is not completely closed on the possibility that there may be a path back to, like a path to walk this back a little bit. There are 23 or 24. There are going to be either 23 or 24 events on the Championship Series circuit, and not all of those have been claimed. And you put people in the same room face to face over the course of a week here in Memphis, and I mean, like, that's kind of the vibe that I'm picking up, is that you maybe over Zoom and over the phone, these sorts of things don't they have a tendency to get hung up somewhere in the lines of communication. But you put people together in the same place at the same time, and maybe not. My gut tells me that we are still, odds are, we are still looking at a Challenger Series event starting in 2028. But again, I talked to like a handful of people, and the sentiment that was communicated to me was that there is still at least a possibility that Memphis could be on the Championship Series circuit after next year.
Well, here's what I think that would take, because I'm getting a similar vibe, and I think this. I think it's fair to say this. I think St. Jude is not happy with being a Challenger event, and I think FedEx is definitely not happy with being a Challenger event. I don't know if they would be involved if it were a Challenger event. Let's face it, I don't think a Challenger event with a purse of $4 million is going to be more than $6-7 million to be a sponsor of that event. It takes $30 to $40 million to be a championship tour event sponsor, major sponsor. And Are there that many companies that have 30 to 40 million for one event to go around? That's where I think the best hope is. They know they've had that support for 40 years from FedEx.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they can't cover the 23 or 24 events with those kinds of dollars. Maybe they have to go back hat in hand to FedEx. I don't know. Or the vibe we're getting could very well be they're saying, look, Memphis is really important to us. We will make this the top challenger event. It'll be the relegation event or something of that nature, although they don't want to be in the August time slot, which is where you would think that would be. They really want end of May, early June for that Memphis time slot. So I don't know exactly how this plays out, but I do get a vibe, like you said, I like that word, that this ain't over yet, and I don't know exactly what in terms that means, but I do get the sense there is a glimmer. How much of a hope, I don't know, but a glimmer that there could still be championship tour future for Memphis.
Yeah, I mean, and who knows how much? Like, I think you're probably right on with what you said about, like, you know, maybe the PGA has realized that there aren't as many takers out there as they thought there would be for these super high dollar sponsorships for these championship series events. So I do think there is an element of this that is attached to that, but also, like, I wonder, with that news coming out a couple of weeks ago, how much the reaction is informing what we're hearing. Like, there was a very, very strong reaction here. And you know, you just, I don't know. I would just leave open the possibility that, you know, once the blowback, how much of the blowback is, you know, propping that door open a little bit more than it was before.
Well, I was not expecting, I expected the players who were here, because they're here, to react the way they did. And that was nice. I kind of expected that. Did not expect the commentary that was given by Jim Nantz and CBS over this. Now, Sellers Shy, who is the executive producer, the main producer of CBS Golf, he lives here. He's got kids who were raised here. He started as a runner at Colonial for CBS. That's how he got in the biz. So he's from here. So that, you know, maybe that's part of the CBS attitude. I don't know. But I was surprised a little bit at how strong they were about it all. And I'll be honest with you, Muncie, and we haven't talked about this at all. I don't quite understand why the tour decided to break that story with you and Sports Business Journal before this tournament began. That made Brian Rolapp an enemy, a villain. Yep. I don't understand why they had to break it. I mean, they could have broken it today. It would have made more sense than to do it when they did it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't ask why they chose to do it when they did it, but you know what? Like, I putting myself in their shoes, they would have been hounded by everybody in that Phil Cannon Media Center every second of every day. It would have been like, even though, yeah, sure, we wrote about it and everybody talked about it all last week and everything else. Like, yeah, it was addressed and discussed and poured over and everything else, but like, it was done differently, than it would have been had it been, you know, unaddressed going into the thing. I think there would have been a lot more intensity from, you know, media and even fans. Like, fans would have been asking, you know, like, it just, I don't know. I wonder if that was part of their thing, that like there's a lesser of two evils here, and this is the one we think that is easiest for us.
Well, you know, sometimes I wonder how much in touch Brian Rolapp is. I won't name names, but in this story I heard, you know, they have that Pro-Am at Chickasaw on Thursday. Usually it's at Spring Creek, but their greens are being redone, so it was at Chickasaw. And there's a Wednesday night party for that Pro-Am. And Brian Rolapp wanted to go to that party. And Brian Rolapp was told, do you realize you are public enemy number one in Memphis? If you go to that, there's a chance somebody's going to take a swing at you. Right. So he did not come,
You might better sit this one out.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, before we run out of time, there's an interesting horse racing story. A Rhodes professor a few years ago was written about as one of the great handicappers of horse racing in the United States. And this guy was, a statistic professor, I think, at Rhodes College. Now it's coming out. He had inside info, or this story's going crazy. Tell me about it.
Yeah, Marshall Graham is his name, and he's been at Rhodes for a long time. He's an economics professor, and actually back when Marcianato, our former columnist at CA, when he wrote about Marshall, he was teaching a class at Rhodes on horse betting, which is interesting given the news of the day, or it broke yesterday actually, that he is being charged by a horse racing integrity group outfit with basically fraud, basically insider trading, essentially. They are alleging that they're claiming that he accessed privileged information in a portal, in a portal that contains all sorts of deeply insider information, like. We're talking about vet records and things like that he accessed these records and then bet. Like, if you're a horse owner, which he is, you have access to this portal, but you only have access to your own horses. Well, apparently the allegation is that he accessed information on horses he does not own and then bet on those horses, and then profited from those bets. And so, yeah, it's like
He's in trouble. He's in trouble.
He is pariah, the premier pariah in the horse racing community this week.
I know you're working on that story, so go read it at commercialappeal.com. Jason, as always, I appreciate it. Thank you much, and we'll talk again next Tuesday.
Appreciate you, Wolo.
That is Mr. Munsey from the CA. It's brought to you by Ken Garland Custom Home Builders. If you're ready, you want that dream home, there's nobody better. Third generation. Williams in the business now. You have the two Kens. They have some things in common. One, they really care. The job's never done. They say that. You could be 2 years after he's completed a job for you. You got a little issue. He's going to come out and take a look. I promise. That's the way that the Garlands have been taught. And they've been doing this for about 80 years. Could be a renovation. You want modern amenities. You don't want to leave your beautiful home and your lot, but you want the California closets, the island in the kitchen, the video room with the speakers, and you want that stuff. I get it. He can do that. He's been doing it for years. Go to KenGarlandCustom.com, CustomHomes.com, and you'll see what I'm talking about. KenGarland.com. Go to that website. You'll see what he's been doing for all these years, and then talk. He's really fun to talk to. Sees little details, big picture all at once. If you're building or you're renovating, there's only one place to go. Ken Garland, Custom Home Builders. That'll do it for us. Busy show tomorrow. Dennis Philippi, Joe Dank, all in the house. And we make golf picks from the BMW Championship. That all is tomorrow. Johnny Radio's next. Don't go anywhere.